Hey guys, this is Nefis here with another Dungeon Guide video. This time we'll be continuing off from where we left off at the end of Crypt of Hearts 1, and we are heading into Veteran Crypt of Hearts 2, and we will include the hard mode fight in here as well. As with every other video so far, and no one in the group has any champion point allocated, so let's begin. As you'll notice, the theme, or rather the mob format, is completely different from Crypt of Hearts 1 in the fact that it's become a lot more Daedric. There's less skeleton soldiers, there's less zombies. Now it's become very Daedric. There's a lot more Dremora, there's more flesh atros, there's just a lack of the theme we saw in Crypt of Hearts 1. And this is because the antagonist that we always hear about in Crypt of Hearts 1 from the storyline is now actually back in his home in here. And he's brought a lot of Daedric friends with him for the adventure here. So again, a lot more Daedric elements. These mobs do hit a lot harder than Crypt of Hearts 1. And you just want to make sure as a DPS or healer you're not too close to the melee adds before the tank taunts them, and make sure that you're not getting hit by multiple adds that are ranged at the same time. Otherwise, the routes of this dungeon is going to be exactly the same for the most part. We'll be seeing one side of the map that we didn't get access to in the previous Crypt of Hearts 1 dungeon. Now, if you've noticed, this was where the mage boss was, who had to negate. Abelgast here does do a negate, but if you can kill him, or rather used to, I believe. But if you can kill him before then, that's good. And he does spawn a lot more adds than the first boss in Crypt of Hearts 1 did. So you're going to be seeing the Daedric mages try to help him. And then he's going to spawn 2 of those summoner adds back there. And they're summoning a flesh Atronak. It is possible to kill them before they do. I think you only have to kill one of them to stop the ritual summoning. But otherwise, the flesh Atronak will not typically aggro on the group until after you kill Abelgast anyway. And by the time you're done Abelgast, you'll just be pretty much mowing down every other ad that comes around here. But yeah, that's how you tackle on the first boss of Crypt of Hearts 2. And we'll be seeing different mob format yet again. So instead of zombies, we got these spiders here, and we got an Ogrim up ahead that is an elite ad. And you want to finish the Ogrim as fast as possible. Once he reaches a certain health interval, he starts summoning 2 more Daedric adds, and it is possible to kill him before he does it. And you just want to watch out for the stomp and the basic charges of the Ogrim. And there he goes, he's summoning the 2 Daedric adds. And you just want to try to clear these adds as fast as possible as well. The 2-hander should be taunted onto the tank because its heavy attack can one-shot the healer or DPS. So just be very careful with that. And here we have another pack of spiders, or swarm of spiders? Yeah, swarm of spiders. And an Ogrim, and this time our group will be able to focus the Ogrim much more easily. There's a lot less spiders to get in the way. And our tank stopped its charge, so more DPS from the dots are laid there. And we will actually kill the Ogrim before he summons the 2 Daedric adds. Otherwise, if you can't kill him before then, you'll see the same 2-hander and archer or nightblade ad that we saw earlier. And here is the second boss of Crypt of Hearts 2. Rozozozopapamas, whatever. I don't know how to exactly pronounce that name. But basically, she's a spider Daedra. She does 2 mechanics. The first mechanic she does is spawn this lightning AoE that follows a random person across the room. If you're the tank, you can stand in it. If you're DPS, you have to kite it. And the second mechanic she just did, she spins a cocoon around one person. That one person that's not cocoon can synergize the cocoon and release you from the cocoon. So pretty much it requires a basic level of team play here to manage to clear this boss. And this is where our paths kind of diverge from the first dungeon. After we killed this Daedric mob here, we're going to be going to the left instead of right, because the right passageway is blocked off. from Crypt of Hearts 1, and the left will be given access to us by the ghost quest giver. Now, unlike the first dungeon, you don't really have to destroy any crystals or anything. You just kind of have to like go along the dungeon route, and you'll be able to get the quest complete. So no need to worry about breaking a quest chain or anything, like Tempest Island or Crypt of Hearts 1.
This way. Whatever he keeps in here now is well guarded.
Out! The lot of you! You've no right to enter!
Up ahead, we have a door guarded by 2 statues, and the quest giver comments that she's never seen these statues before, so obviously we have to interact with these, and one person can just immediately tap both. The idea is to tap both statues at the same time, or at roughly the same time, otherwise the door will not open. And we have the chamber guardian guarding their bed chambers. I don't know why there's a boss for the bed chambers, but okay, anyway, the only mechanic this boss will do is summon that red wraith that fears anyone standing in its path. It's pretty easy to see his animation for summoning that wraith and sidestepping that fear. So it's actually also easier to stack as a group in one spot and sidestep it as a group as well. But other than that, the tank just holds taunt and it's a stack and burn. There's not much to worry about with the ads or anything. They're pretty harmless, and that's it. And we are going through their bedroom. Pretty awkward, but whatever.
You're a tenacious lot. If you insist, I'll be happy to feed you to the blade.
I personally would not make this place my home, but whatever. Really weird bed chamber. And here's another Orgrim, and just like every other Orgrim in the dungeon, he can summon 2 Daedric Gads to help him, 2 enter, and the other one, he's going to do a charge, the tank blocks it, and we will try to kill him before he spawns him, but no luck.
The Daedra have destroyed much of the school. Let's keep
Alright, now after we kill those 2, we're going to go up ahead, and we're going to see a bit more of a familiar environment here from Crypt of Hearts 1. We just took a very long, winded passage around to get to this point, and instead of the Leviathan's head, the Skeletal Colossus will actually be encountering a very familiar boss, and we just need to clear out this trash. And again, if you have an add-on here or something as a DPS or a healer, bring it to the tank. Much easier than to just run away from the fight. And that's it. Now let's meet this next boss. And it's the Lambris twins. But they're not as hard as when they were the final boss of Crypt of Hearts 1, so no real need to worry. The tank will just taunt both of them, and it's a stack and burn for the initial phase. Now you're wondering why there's a health bar called the Lambris Amalgam. It's because they're gonna like combine, like, I don't know, some Gundam people into just one powerful being. Meanwhile, one of our DPS is trying to sell stuff. And it doesn't matter to what health interval you burn both twins at. You can burn one down to 20% and they'll do this, but it doesn't affect this phase's boss's health at all, so it doesn't really matter. Now there's 2 mechanics or 3 mechanics this boss does. The first mechanic, he's gonna do a stomp. No need to be in it. The second is Firestorm, and the third is spawning ads and doing lightning AoEs. Typically, you can stand in one Firestorm AoE and heal the group through it, but otherwise it's best to avoid incoming damage. Better safe than sorry. And there's that stomp, you want to get out of it, or you get CC, and then here's a lightning phase with the 2 mage ads. For the most part, you ignore the ads and just focus the boss. The tank should have both ends. And there we go. We've killed the Lambers twins yet again. And I skipped forward over here because there was just a bit of waiting going on with the group. So just to save time, you're going to go up the stairs, but instead of going all the way up to where the Lich was in Crypt of Hearts 1, you'll come over here because there is no side boss at all over where the Lich was in Crypt of Hearts 1. It's just a bunch of random mobs that you don't really need to kill for any achievement or quest in this dungeon. And this dark portal will keep spawning these ads, and the final ad will be this flesh atronach. And as long as the tank has hold on the flesh atronach, we should be good. Then we're gonna go up these stairs, and some of the mobs have, some of the mob placements are different. Obviously, we don't see the Dream Mages from the Hearts one, and we don't see the guy over here. Instead, we're going to be ambushed by the skeletons on these pillars, and then we're going to have a big mob up ahead. And you just want to immediately go straight into this mob. Don't wait for them to fan out or anything, because it's harder to stack them as a tank. And you just want to stick together as a group and try to burn down this mob. If you can, as a tank, try to prioritize getting the bigger ads, because they typically do the more damage. Especially the two-hander. There's no real need to try to ton the smaller ends or anything. And even if you do have a two-hander on you like that, it is best to dodge roll. And now we'll encounter the second to last boss of Crypt of Hearts II. This boss can be challenging, especially if you're in like a pug group or anything, because it's best for a group to kind of have one person choose each direction. So here I'm kind of on the west side and someone else on the north. And these two DPS will go south or east. The reason being is she pulls you in, and then if any of your red AoEs around you overlap on each other, both of you will die. So you don't want anyone to overlap in your AoE, and you don't want to be in another AoE when the explosion goes off like that, because it is a one-shot. To pretty much do exactly what we just did in the video, and there should be no issues with the overlapping AoEs or anything, and that's pretty much it. She just repeats the same sequence of actions over and over until we kill her. Most groups can typically complete it within 2 to 3 phases. And here we're going to enter the portal, and this will be the last boss of Crypt of Hearts 2, and this will not have a hard mode scroll because this used to be a gold pledge, meaning that there was no scroll to read, and you just did the prerequisite 40 hard mode, and then you get the undaunted keys. And Orion is a very interesting boss. Basically, like Banner Cells 2, you're going to be trying to hold ads alive until a certain point. For Banner Cells though, it's until the end of the fight. For this, it's until a certain point in the fight. And for the hard mode, you want to keep 4 wraiths alive until after he picks up the ebony sword. And for the most part, he only does 3 threatening mechanics. The first one you're seeing right now, the Lich crystals coming up. Another effect of the titular monster title of this dungeon, Orion spawning a Lich crystal upon direct damage. Even if you stand in 1 or 2 of these, the healer should be able to easily heal you through it. And the second mechanic he did is port to someone randomly and explode with the AoE. And the third mechanic you just saw he did was a heavy attack you can block. He just tosses a flaming skull at you, basically. And here, we communicate to the group, alright guys, we're doing hard mode, let's not kill the wraiths. It is easier to, of course, complete this by killing the wraiths, or just burning the boss straight down to the ebony sword phase, but hard mode does require you to be patient, and not burn the boss down until you got 4 wraiths. Now, the wraith spawns are based on a timer, not health-based intervals, so it's just best to wait. If you're the healer, toss your tank some synergies, an orb or something, a shard, whatever. Keep them situated. And here we have the 4 wraiths. If you're the DPS, try not to burn the wraiths along with the boss now. And be wary of his heavy attack and his big AoEs, because you don't want to get caught off guard and die. Usually Naryanith will try to pick up the sword at around 35 to 41, 39%, around there, somewhere between those percentages. And here we go. You don't want to kill the wraiths yet. And now it is okay to kill the wraiths. The moment he puts his sword up like that, it is 100% safe to kill the wraiths. And as a healer, you want to put your heal over time down. As a tank, taunt him, blah blah blah. But he does a special move here. He just holds you up in the air until the group can burst his shield down. He'll not stop doing it. So you will die if the group cannot burst his shield down when he does that mechanic. And you saw synergy for resisting it. Again, you'll die regardless, even if, you know, the group cannot DPS past that shield. And when he has a sword, he rushes someone randomly occasionally, but you can block it and heal through it, and that's pretty much it. You've cleared the Hearts II hard mode. Thanks so much for watching, guys.